Welcome everyone and welcome to All In All United. Nico, this had to be one of the best reviews. Going to Stamford Bridge and winning 4-0. You know, I mean, I didn't expect it. You know, going into this game, I really thought we was going to draw 0-0. You know, but coming away with a big win like this, Nico, I can't tell you how proud I am of the team to see the kind of football we're playing. You know, we talk about enterprising football, and I see enterprising football today. A hat-trick from Rashford, then Marcel coming off the bench and scoring the fourth goal. Watch me, it was a result. I'm telling you, I never expected. Good victory, fellas. 4-0 in Chelsea tail. 4-0 all year. Glory, Man United. Talk about it. Talk thing. Man United to the world.
And then we woke up. And then we woke up. You know? Dream was such a wonderful dream. You know?
Anyway. Welcome. Ion, welcome, buddy. Good night.
Hey, good night.
And Mr. Hackshaw, welcome, buddy.
Hey, welcome. Good night, man.
All right, so we wake up now, Nico.
Yeah, we wake up. Woo, what a dream, boy. Wake up for when? Oh, you sell it. You say you sell it there? Oh, cool. Yeah, boy. I wake up.
I am saying that this play reminds me of Van Gaal era.
I find what the Chelsea brand of football is a Van Gaal kind of football, boy. I honestly don't mind they had a cutting edge a bit. You know, maybe things could have been different. You know, the made a good save. Giroud had that could have been different. But I find that Chelsea football real dull too, boy.
No, but you see the thing with Chelsea football, Nico. You know, what I see in terms of how they're able to move the ball is what I desire to see Man play. You know, in terms of being able to possess and move the ball. No. But hear him out. But just with a little more directness and a little more penetration.
Right.
And you see, the thing about it is once you're playing proper football, at some point you will get that aspect correct. But if your football not good and you're lacking ideas and you're one track and you're predictable, then I think you have a greater task on your hand. You know what I'm saying? So as far as I'm concerned, I hear what you're saying about Chelsea, but I think from front to back, Chelsea didn't really seem threatened throughout the game. You know, they managed what we had to offer pretty well. You know what I'm saying? And once they could figure out that attacking aspect of the game, because let me be fair to Chelsea. Thomas Tuchel owning that team about a month and change. You know what I'm saying? So let me conclude on Chelsea football and wherever. All I'm saying is they played the better football today. We, as usual, looked out at ideas and were dependent on moments. Bruno today was off. Bruno couldn't find a proper pass. Rashford, I forgot Rashford was in the game. You know what I'm saying? McFred, all your ideal midfield.
Ideal midfield. We need an upgrade. I tell you, we need an upgrade. But I say we could be world champions with McTominay in the midfield. And I still believe that. Fred, we need to upgrade Fred. As much as whatever Fred did today, right? He had a go to do the right foot, which would be the best thing he did for the season. Well, other than the true ball for Rashford, right? We need to upgrade on Fred definitely because you see, I think, and then is he back four too? Because the back four needs so much protecting from the CDMs that it's taken away from the potential we could have attacking. But of course, again, with an upgrade in our midfield quality, we need that upgrade on midfield quality. Our midfield quality is just not good enough.
All right. Let me get some comments from Ion. He's saying, I understand, Nico, because Chelsea football real boring. Right? He also saying, Chelsea football didn't have nothing in it. It's just pass, and hoping to score. I fed up of those two DMs. We need a good DM so we can have more options in the attack.
Yeah, my sentiment exactly.
But if I go back to the point I made just now, Ion, Thomas Tuchel has only come in a little over on a month, and we've seen a change in the style of Chelsea's football. We see in the passing, we see in the game out of tight spaces, we see a plan, we see in patterns. And the point I made is that he have time. When I say you're able to see the change in the way Chelsea play in only a month. And if we as fans could realize that, well, they're a little bit short up top, then you don't think that very, very soon that situation could be rectified and they could be a force. So only here for close to 2 years, and we still don't know if a style of play for Man United. No,
exactly.
But just now, let me just clarify what I'm saying, right? I'm not saying Oli out. I don't want to be overly critical on Oli because it has some forms of progress that we can identify and give credit where credit is due. But as far as our football is concerned, you understand what I'm saying? I am not impressed. I am not impressed one bit. I am seeing where Chelsea was able to develop it to be easy, move the ball through midfield, nice combinations, and all Tuchel had to do is within the next couple of months, probably when he get a transfer window, he organize and get the kind of forwards he's looking for, and then we go be talking different about Chelsea football. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna judge Tuchel after a month when 90% of the players is probably not his own. You know what I'm saying? He had to come in and he had to work until he could start to make his input in terms of transfers in the team. But I am seeing where over a month, or even less than a month, where he went in and the team playing how he want them to play, and in terms of certain aspects of that game, I am seeing more positives than negatives. We can really sit down here and say, well, oh, they will be passing. But I feel plenty improvement.
All right, I guess time will tell. The Premier League, you can't hide in the Premier League. And with time, you'll definitely tell the kind of team he built. Because even at one point, our team, we could have seen that, or he just had to get one or two things right for us to be world beaters. And still, we haven't seen it. So time will tell.
I am saying how much time you think Tuchel has to do that. I can't remember what exactly.
No, I guess it's a building team to his image now.
I think he, unless that team start to fall real bad, I think he have at least a season. Since same Oli with McFred bang up Tuchel with better players, and it's only because of Oli's slackness we got beaten. Or that's when he was at PSG.
Could be, yeah.
Yeah, but the thing about it, I want to be fair to football. Them things happen in football because AS Roma beat Barcelona. You know what I'm saying? So you see them one-off games in competitions, them things just happen. You know what I'm saying? But when you're talking about a league, which is more of a marathon, you understand, where the game's more tactical, I think if we don't watch myself, we could be in trouble. You know? Anyway, Nicole. So let me get into the discussion on this Ballfest again. You know, I mean, I wasn't surprised.
Right.
And it's an interesting statistic earlier, right? That's Man United, against the top 6, Man United has won no games this season. And we lost 2.
Yeah.
Right? As opposed to last season, where we beat everybody in the top 6, but we struggle with the smaller teams. Anyway, we might get into that discussion a little bit later on. Talk to me about the teams you can tell.
I guess to me, the biggest surprise was Marshall on the team. I think everything else up to then, yes, we don't know he'd play against Sociedad in the week, but still, Marshall out of the team definitely spoke something to me. That either two things is that Oli doesn't trust him to win games to United, one, or Oli just maybe rest, fatigue, or just basically fed up with the performance again from Marshall. Because let me say, because you're going to Greenwood today, right? James had an okay-ish game, full of energy, full of drive, yes. But we still miss that recognized number 9, that player to hold up the ball, which the only player on the team at the moment would have been Marshall, who is a big game that we was important to win, or even to stamp your authority on the top four, especially how Leicester would have dropped points, that's a pull away from, let me say, from the chasing pack, which should have been third and fourth and fifth, etc. And he decided not to play Marshall. So that for me definitely is a flag in terms of, I wonder if definitely find that Marshall form that's not coming up to scratch, or he just fed up waiting. Or is it that, I don't know, James will be better for, so definitely that will stand out to me in the team sheet. Other than that, I think everything else, McTominay coming into the team was a surprise. No mind, yes, he said that McTominay would not have been fit before my games again. I know something would have come up if it was Cavani. I was hoping, something would have come up. I was seeing something come in the pipeline, so I was not surprised to see McTominay starting today. Other than that, I think the team was set, picked itself.
I am saying I wasn't surprised with Marcel out of the team. He doesn't seem interested, and I think his time is up. All right. That's a real bold claim there, Ian. For me, yeah, I think McTominay was the biggest shock for everybody. And normally what tends to happen is you'll see it on social media and the different news agencies in England. They will normally have a list of the players who would have traveled to London to play. And for some reason, the Man United team traveled to London, real stealth, because nobody was able to pick up on who traveled. So I think Ollie was playing a McTominay card close to his chest, because he did say, as you noted, in the press conference that he didn't think McTominay was going to play. Right? So that was a surprise to everybody. I think even Chelsea, when they saw the team sheet, they would be like, hey, he there? Because of how well Ollie hit it now. I didn't otherwise. I agree. I was surprised Marcel didn't start, considering the kind of game. But I wasn't one bit shocked that Bailly didn't play. Because we've seen it. Yeah, we've seen it time and time again where Bailly would put on a real good performance, but Ollie seems to believe in McTominay and not McTominay, Lindelof and Maguire. And I mean, to be fair to them, they didn't do anything wrong,
Of course not.
So as far as the team sheet was concerned, the inclusion of McTominay and the exclusion of Marcel was the only two things that I thought was a little bit surprising in one and indifferent in the other one. The thing about Marcel is I was kind of glad that he didn't start, because I knew the kind of game it would have been. You know what I'm saying? And I know people just waiting to scapegoat somebody. And right now, because of his form and because of his reputation with the fan base, he's an easy target. So for me, the fact that he didn't start and the team play how they play, not that I want my team to lose, but it just lent to what I keep saying in terms of we do not provide service for a number 9 in our system. Look at Greenwood today. People talk about Marcel to make movement, Marcel to be in the box. Greenwood playing number 9. Greenwood was in the box. How much runs Greenwood made? But these are discussions people are not ready to make because it does suit the agenda now.
But
anyway,
you can move on. But you say agenda 1, right? But to me, I think Greenwood's still learning his trade now. So it really hard to judge Greenwood at the moment as a pure number 9.
But
again, when you say in terms of the movement and the creativity and the team is not playing to provide service on number 9, I agree with that. But to judge Greenwood, that's how you would judge Marshall at the stages of their careers, I think that would be kind of a bit unfair.
Right, no, I'm not judging Greenwood, but what I'm saying is obviously if you play in a number 9 position, yes, you don't play that position, but there are certain things that you'll expect a number 9 to do, right? So whether one more experienced in the role and not doing it, or one coming into it, you still expect a measure of that from the player playing the position. You know what I'm saying? I am saying the game missed Pogba and Cavani. Definitely. At least for me, Pogba, because you see that midfield with McFred, all I could say all I want. I will always keep saying it. That midfield will not win nothing. Anyway, I am here to be proven wrong. I am saying after Wednesday, I calling Lindelof Sagat.
No, this should fight that Sagat to this opening. Yes, I have no opinion. Yeah. Good one.
Hey, Simeon, welcome, and he's saying good night, guys. James looked better, getting better. This game showed that we need more transfers. Only one sub.
Ooh, seriously, we only one sub? Wow.
Yeah, it's only one sub all he make.
Ooh, all right. Good. I guess they want to upset the rhythm at the if I say more or less. They want to upset that rhythm. Jet, let me take my point at the bridge and go home. If City want to run away with the title, let them run away with it. I comfortable with that point. And keep Chelsea at bay. Leicester already lose. West Ham lose, because West Ham is one of the hot horses in the race right now. So yeah, I guess he was comfortable with it.
You're talking how Oli would have approached it.
Yeah, so because I was saying in terms of not making too much changes, next thing you know, I show off the rhythm and Chelsea will have momentum with that. You know, because I guess he learned from his mistakes, because last time he had got up Tunze, but he tried to sell that game and they saw what happened. So you say here what? Them fellas going good for the draw, they do it right.
But Oli didn't think like after Fred got a yellow card, because he got a yellow card so early in the game.
Right.
He was thinking, I wonder if we're gonna have a what is it called when something happened twice? Deja vu? Yeah.
I didn't get that today. I didn't get that.
So you didn't see Fred, because knowing how Fred is, sometimes he's a little rash.
Yeah.
And then we know how Mason Mount and some of the Chelsea players are a little nippy, and then they like to play for people to get sent off, knowing that Fred was on a red. You know, I was a little bit concerned because I know when he had gotten the yellow card, Oli sent out Matic to warm up. So I was wondering if Oli learned his lesson now. But I see like Fred was, and the manager of the game, I don't know if the Chelsea players actually targeted him, but
that's the difference. The intensity game was different. The intensity game wasn't the intensity of that PSG game, because for that PSG game you felt it. You felt it that they are going to target Fred, and they felt that something was going to give. But then the intensity Fred was playing at in the PSG game, because he was going at everything, and he had about 3 or 4 fouls before that first yellow card, and then after yellow card he had a few after. So that way people was calling for now, boy, you gotta take off Fred now. You know, but in this game, it didn't have that. It didn't have that high intensity. It didn't have that players was targeting Fred, and then Fred wasn't going out that all out tenacious way. Yeah, it wasn't like that. So I guess I didn't feel that at all.
All right. Hey, Jody, welcome, man. Thanks for joining. I am saying after Fred got that yellow, I thought he would have subbed him, but he started playing real careful. Yeah. And I think, as Nico said, the Chelsea players didn't, play for him to get sent off now. And I guess the intensity of the match wasn't as high as the PSG game.
And the emotions also wasn't as high. But it was real high for that PSG game.
Yeah. But you got the feeling in the game when you watch how it played out that the two managers would have been comfortable with not losing, as opposed to a team going for it and the next team going at it, or one team going for it and one team defending for their life. Yeah. You got the feeling, based on how the game was going, that nobody wanted to be the one to say, I caused us to lose, So that's why you would have rarely get any kind of goal mouth action. I mean, we know we would have identified a couple chances Chelsea got, and then the shot that McTominay.
All right.
McTominay shot. But apart from that, the game was more of a midfield battle. Where I thought Man U lost hands down.
You find so? I think it had Spurs. It had Spurs.
No. What I'm saying, the midfield battle, when I consider the whole thing, kind of watching Spurs, when I was the whole thing, Chelsea was the better team.
Okay.
Where Chelsea's game broke down was when they crossed and they went in to try to score. Like when Maguire and Lindelof would have done well in terms of keeping them at bay. But But every time we would have got the ball and tried to build anything, we gave it back. You know, we didn't. It had some moments in the game where I saw we was trying, but to no avail. It's like you didn't see anything happening or coming out of what we was doing.
But I think most of our football broke down. I mean, I'd say wasn't much really talk about. As you would have said to me, especially the first half, that midfield battle was real tight. It barely had room for players to really hold the ball or raise the head, or you had to know where doing the ball even before the ball reached. And that was the kind of intensity I find had in the midfield. I find the intensity in the midfield was very high in the first half. To me, I didn't find Chelsea dominate the midfield. I find it was a real. Most of the possession was on the wings. They just moved the ball through the middle as quickly as possible. But Chelsea, I would agree, would have had the better of it. But to say, well, it was played off the park, like how our City would dominate the midfield and have us running rings all over the place. It wasn't like that. And most of our play would have broken down in the final third. I think the decision making most of the times was poor. The quality of the passes was poor. And to me, Chelsea really, only on few occasions, they really threatened to break us down. They were more penetrative than us. But I don't think that at any time that they really dominated the entire game and where we was on the back foot and couldn't have a response.
All right, good point. Simeon saying where Chelsea spent that 200 million euros, wasn't impressed. All right, Ian saying, what do you think about that penalty call? All right, we will get to that.
Yeah.
Jody saying first half they were just filling out each other. Second half they decided to go for it. Simeon also saying that McTominay pass that missed two men.
Yeah, but I guess you're talking about the pass down to the end where the counter attack.
Probably that one.
Was the quality of the pass again? The final ball would have let down McTominay. McTominay had a better quality on that ball. Because if you put that ball just, let me say, across the goal for men to run on to, because it had men running on to, but you cannot play to the back of the men who was running. So to me, final ball again.
Let me talk about this, Nico, because I'm not a referee. You go have more insight into it. But before you say anything, Nico, now as far as I'm concerned, and even when you go back to the game when we play, I can't remember who it was, Brighton. The ball touched Lindelof hand, just something similar, and they get a penalty. I can't remember if it was Brighton or Crystal Palace.
I think so, yeah. Thinking about
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
similar, and we consider a penalty. So now, if we were to appreciate the beauty of the game, these things shouldn't be penalties. But this is what it has become. So give him a damn penalty. That's all I'm saying. Because I've seen softer handball given. Give him a penalty. Now, a penalty at that point, who knows, could have changed the complexion of the game. It could have changed how Chelsea might have want to push it more, and then that might have played into our hands, and it might have been a different game. But when you see referees continue to do us wrong, now, as I said before, Nico, as far as I'm concerned, if we were to generalize and try to scrap the penalty rule, this kind of penalty sure again scrap out the books. But for what it is now, give me a penalty because that is a penalty. You know what I'm saying? Give me a thought.
Well, first when I saw it, I actually thought it was Mason Greenwood's hand that touched the ball, because you saw the movement from Greenwood's hand. You saw the movement, and then you saw even the Chelsea players reacted. So it was mostly the Chelsea players reacting to the call compared to United or even Greenwood, right? So when I heard that there a penalty shout, a penalty claim, and I saw back the video, I say, well, the moment that really hit Odoi hand there, that had to be a penalty. And then the moment when the referee stopped the game to go and watch his screen, that means that, hey, the VR say, nah, you had to take a look, this looking like a penalty. And then for the referee to come back and without anything clear, there's nothing clear to say why it was not given. Because to me, his hand was an unnatural position. His hand was actually trying to grab Mason Greenwood's shoulder. If there's anything which I to get in front of Mason Greenwood, which definitely is not a natural running position. A natural running position would not be your hand trying to get across somebody and then the ball is in your hand. So that to me has to be a penalty. So I definitely think it was hard done. Again, we're going back to when Lampard and Klopp and whoever else would have talked about referees giving Man United easy penalties. I think the referees are being influenced, and we've seen it for more than one game now. Those coaches have influenced the referees. Very disappointing to say. Even the referee who has been in the studio for the Premier League say, because how penalties have been given for this season, he doesn't understand how that penalty wasn't given. So I think that was a atrocious call. And as I agree as you would have said, if there's a scrap penalties, I would also agree to scrap that type. Because there's a flick of the hand really, the ball, So to me, a horrible decision.
Yeah. Mr. Hackshaw here bringing in a very interesting point. With that penalty, I think Mason had a part in bouncing his arm onto the ball. Right?
I'm not sure.
But even so, Nico, we've seen penalties like that given. So Hackshaw, I hear what you're saying, and that could be a factor, but what we're crying for is consistency. Right? And that's why we both agreed that if they had a scrap, certain aspects of how they are awarding penalties for handballs and things, then these kind of fine margin ones get out of the way so there's no debate. I am saying Luke Shaw might get in some trouble for his comments. Yeah, because after the game, I think one of the reporters stated that Luke Shaw's comments were, because he say he overheard, right? Yeah. And they say what he overheard was the wrong thing. So I don't know what will happen for that, but I think.
I hear the interview from Luke Shaw, and Luke Shaw said he gonna referee tell Maguire, right, that it'll be controversy now if you give it controversy.
Right, yeah. But what they're saying now is that Luke Shaw misheard what he overheard. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. But all I'm saying is, Oli was very clever when he was talking about it, how he kind of stayed away from coming directly as a referee for a bad call, because they're ready to fine you know. So I don't know if Luke Shaw will really be in trouble, because I think if it had any little issue there, it could have a little backlash on Luke Shaw, But we will see. Jesus Akshaw saying all the angles we saw before the decision looked 50-50, but from the other angle, you see he deliberately moved hand to ball, taking away advantage. So yeah, I mean that is the opinion. That is what seems to be going right now, and you can tell Oli has always been, cool or accepting of the referee's decisions, but you can see today in the post-match interview that it was getting to him because it has now cost us. You know what I'm saying? This is what the third game referee's decision has cost us. You know what I'm saying? And that's the difference between, because even the Sheffield United game, that was 3 points we lost because of wrong call. Then again today, we could have gotten 2 more points. Chances are, just saying, So you've seen where it now starting to get him because the pressure mounting, because the team not scoring, the team not performing at the levels, we're not getting the results that we want. And these kind of calls going against you, it must annoy somebody, man. So, yeah, Nicole, so let me continue in the game. I don't know if it's anything.
I guess as much as how good Shaw has been, right? And I know there's a point that we just always stress on with Luke Shaw. To me, it feels like sometimes he lacks a bit of belief. Yes, and guys, don't come too hard on me. Yes, Shaw has been in top form, but at times there are things that to me he could do much better. At times there are balls that he could play. At times that you see today again, Rashford calling for the ball, and they're still running to Rashford with the ball. It had a play that Bruno had to remonstrate here. You made a brilliant dash down the wing, reached down to to the byline. When it's time to cross, you stop and you turn back and you play back. Right? So Bruno tell you, once you reach down there with the ball, men running, put the ball inside, anything could happen. We already catch the team already because that was a brilliant ball. I don't remember who played the ball over the top. You ran onto the ball brilliantly, caught it. And for the moment when you go inside and play a ball inside, you went back. And to me, that shows a better, lacking a belief that, what, if I put a ball inside, possibly it could score. Or I am going to put this ball inside, I'm going to deliver a good ball for the team to score. But for some reason, he feel, but if I play this ball there, I go waste it. So here what? But I turn back and go back. And to me, I saw it a few times today where he really deliberated to pass the ball. And to me, again, it was frustrating seeing that.
Yeah. And earlier know I always look sure about carrying the ball up under the man nose hole. You understand? And when you do that, because I thought that I don't know if that's the one I was talking about, but it had one where Luke Shaw get the ball. Rashford started there in space. He had time. And we know Rashford is the kind of player who will thrive with space.
With space, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And for the life of me, if I go and watch all the other reviews, my criticism with Luke Shaw is Luke Shaw always closing the play. He will carry the ball up to Rashford, then hand him it right there. And by the time Rashford get the ball, 4 defenders around them. Where Rashford going to go? And the only option is to go backward.
Exactly.
So, here now. Anyway, as we carrying along, earlier seeing we have some views. We appreciate it if you like the video. Yes, you're liking the video doesn't mean that you like the result of the game today. I just saying, yeah, and I fully agree. I fully agree with Luke Shaw. There's also one where he played it through to which was by the way, it was Greenwood or Martial in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
He played it the first time the player got the ball, and we saw a nice movement. Then the second time, the man was there calling for it, and Luke Shaw take an extra touch and then again intercepted.
Right.
Oh God, boy.
But again, he has been in decent form, so you don't want to be too critical on him. But there are basic things that if let me say if we do it better, maybe it could create more goal scoring opportunities for us, which you see right now we're struggling and we need. So I think he just really had to be more critical or be more decisive when he is in, let me say, especially the last third of the field. When he has players in front of him, attacking players that free, play the ball and maybe you could run off of them after if you could. So play to them and make the run behind them. So at least I'll pull a defender, right? And the player maybe could have space now if it's a cut in or do whatever else, or to lay it back for you to play a ball in. But don't run up to the player and then expect the player to work magic.
Hey Richard, welcome. He's saying Thomas pay him money.
Okay.
Actually, I don't know if he pay or it's just a referee agenda against Man United.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like coaches don't have to pay no money. Once we show up, then fellas do what we win. You understand?
Yeah, I find them referees really against me, but I don't know. But today I must kudos to the hair today. That save from Ziyech, definitely that was a match-winning save. I think overall today he wasn't bad. He had one mistake, I think, which could have
the clearance.
The clearance, yeah. But otherwise today I think the hair was really solid. I think the pressure from Henderson, some people might say is not pressure because of the history of the hair, the legacy of the hair at United. But I honestly think that the pressure from Henderson has have him improved this season. Yes, we know he had made some errors, but overall I think he has had a very solid season this season.
Yeah. Kudos to the hair because had not been for that save, we may have been talking about a loss to Chelsea today.
Exactly.
Nico, so is it fair? No, because just January we were on top of the table, talking about a title challenge. And I know we have heard Oli and the players saying, we take it one game at a time. We're not gonna get carried away. But you can be in first place and not think about the possibility of making a title challenge, right? But since then to now, we have now fallen off, and I think we're 12 or 13 points off City who seem to be running away with this thing, right? And I mean, this is where you're seeing the difference in quality, right? And for a team who have also had their injury challenges, you know, we've seen how a system and a philosophy and a style of play, you know, when you're chopping and changing and you're bringing in players and you're shifting and you're moving, will still benefit. You know what I'm saying? Now we know the quality of players City have, but the point I'm making is they have faced the team that we playing and they have been beating teams and blowing teams off the park. Anyway, is it now a second place or a top four, well, third to fourth race now, because we know we're only 1 point ahead of Leicester. And I must say the results this week has worked somewhat in our favor. You know, Leicester dropped points, West Ham dropped points, you know, Chelsea dropped points. You know, so what our position is, we safe in top four, or is a top four battle now? Because I'm not even factoring in league title.
No boy, I don't find it three pot boy. This no, I tell you, this will be a dog fight. And I would have said it earlier, even when we were in first place. When we were in first place, I would have said that we are in a false position. The first place we was in at that time, we was in a false position. Yes, we would have deserved it due to the results. But when I saw the nature of the beast, a City, and how rampant they was coming and the form that was in, from the initial form when they started the season, when they catch form, and I knew that we are a bit of an inconsistent team. We were in a fourth position. And you see it now, you see where the cream rise to the top, City in the position because they have been the better team. I think we are in the second position, yes, because at some point we would have been in top form. But I think now, because the goals have dried up, the quality has dried up due to, you say, injuries, right? That we are not hitting that top form. And we definitely would be in a battle for the top four. I think right now the countdown for one more game, we have about 12 games again for the season. I think for the next 12 games, every game will be a final. And I would go back to say that, yes, Ollie was saying that every game from now, you will take every game from now as in itself, right? Play every game as a final, but to me, he didn't do that. And I think the wheels started to fall off in that Sheffield game. I think that 3 points hurt us. And to me, that if it is that he's saying here, play every game at its merit, then he didn't do that against Sheffield. And I think right now we're still paying for that loss.
Yeah, but you think so, Nico, because we had so much games to respond. And I mean, if you were to take every game on its own merit, all right, there's no way we could have sat here and say, well, we were going to win all the rest of the game for the season. So sometimes you had a dust off, you just dust the dust off, yeah. and you win the next game.
Yeah,
so
but the games that you're supposed to win, right? That's we know the Premier League is not a given.
All right, but look at games that we were supposed to win.
Play your best team. Play your best team. Right. If you're taking every game on its merit, play your best team. So you play your best team in the FA Cup. We still in the FA Cup, right? Good for them.
Yeah, but Nico,
and you play a weakened team in the league. When you're saying all the time, play every game at its merit.
I hear what you're saying, but all right. So as I said before, there was no way we were going to win all the games for the rest of the season. So what I'm saying, yes, we dropped the ball against Sheffield, we lost that game. Still questionable because cause went against me that we understand wherever. But after that, we played West Brom. We could have won that. It was a very strong team. We dropped points.
We could have won that.
We were. Well, I'm gonna put it like this. We were supposed to win that because we played with full strength.
All right.
Right? And we didn't win. Let me finish.
After the Sheffield, so one thing. After the Sheffield game, you started to feel the pressure. And let's see the teams.
Nico, we will lose games. We will lose games. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I think between then and now, we've had enough games to make up. We had enough winnable games to make up where we did not win. West Brom, Everton, who again we play? That Arsenal game we were supposed to win. You know what I'm saying? So I understand what you're talking about with the Sheffield game, but I think we had a lot more games where we could have won and we dropped the ball. So to go back quite to Sheffield and say, well, that's the reason why we're in the slump now. I can't
Yeah, because that's where the pressure started. That is where the pressure started.
Yeah,
And
but Nico,
really pressure because when we lost to Sheffield, you know how the media and Manchester United is. They lost to the bottom team in England who barely won a game for the season. And to me, the team starts to crack from since then.
So then after we get knocked out from the Champions League with that kind of pressure, the media, Manchester United out of the Champions League after winning the first two games. Why is the Champions League? Right, but why is
because we out the Champions League? It's not pressure.
Why is the pressure or the impact of getting knocked out in the group phase of our illustrious competition in the Champions League didn't take that mental impact on we and had us in relegation right now? The point I'm making is no.
We don't know how to hear one. Let me focus on the league. Let me focus on the league. We're doing good in the league. Let me focus on the league. So your confidence in the league.
Right, but what I'm saying is a psychological thing you're talking about. We had enough games after that Sheffield loss to be in a better position than we're in right now. We drop points against West Brom. We drop points against Everton. We drop points against Arsenal. You see people beating up the Arsenal team and we drop points against them. And we had good chances to beat that Arsenal team. You know what I'm saying? One win in the last 5 or 6 games in the Premiership, and you're gonna talk about that Sheffield game? Nah, man, I'm not accepting that. The pressure of being a Man United player is enough pressure in itself. So don't tell me the pressure of losing one game against bottom team is what are we in the slum. I'm not accepting that.
It was the start. Was the start of the downward spiral.
Yeah, but even the game when we lost against Arsenal, Nico. Like when Pogba gave away the penalty. When we why that didn't start the spiral? We come back and we bounce back and people not talking about
it. Was not top of the table. It was not top of the table. It was top of the table with that Sheffield. It was at the top of the table with the Sheffield.
Yeah, but Nico,
with a hot Holland City coming up behind you, so you start to feel pressure.
No. I can't accept that, Nico. I can't accept that. It had too much games after that Sheffield game.
All right.
For us to at least be...
My opinion.
Yeah, I hear you. But the point I'm making, it had enough games between that Sheffield game and now for us to be closer to City, where we could say, hey, we could actually push City to the end. City don't run away with this thing already. And you talk about Sheffield, 10 games ago?
Yeah, but that City didn't run away with nothing as yet. By that time?
I know the point. We had enough games to still maintain pressure and keep the momentum. We knew even if City went on a run, it would be a close fight. So you telling me because we lost that game, we just give up the goals? Nah, man.
Too much pressure, too much inexperience. Players who have the belief that they could win the Premier League title.
I also say it's natural to lose games, but we should have done better in that run. Simple mistakes and poor decisions have us where we are right now. Correct. Hey Nigel, welcome man. He's saying I agree with Nico.
Nigel, thanks. We in a small boat versus a big ship, or possibly a big ship, but thanks.
When Arsenal whenever.
Arsenal. Oh, they're still fighting up in 9th or 10th. Right.
Hey, Junior, welcome, man.
The beat Leicester, so we had a tank. No, that's a good win.
Yeah.
Keep it up. Hold up next. Not the City. West Ham. Let me West Ham too.
He's saying manager tactics kill games. Players can't express as before. Everyone wants to be like Pep and run over giving instructions. Just my opinion. What do you think about that, Nico? He's saying the tactics killing the football.
In terms of when you say tactics killing the football, in terms of how the football too slow, too boring,
too strategic. He said players can't express as before.
Now my manager's job on the line, so they had to put some kind of tactics in it. Otherwise, if you go gung ho, you can be changing managers left, right, and center.
Yeah. So, earlier a game that wasn't, and I don't know, I find like of recent times we having these kind of discussions and I having to make these kind of comments, over and over. And I think Ollie right now have a job on his hand, right? So, question, and guys, you all in the comments could also weigh in as well. Do you think if the team were to continue like this, yes, we would continue and we will make top 4, right? But if we continue in this vein, right, do you see Oli surviving and going into next season as being our manager, right? Because at some point, and I realize if you look at the, and I'm not talking about the flimsy fans who sway here when we win and sway there when we lose. I'm talking about it's have a fan base that actually look at the football and they're fairly objective. They will support Oli, but then when the football really starting to it's not working because the individual is not able to bail us out as before to paper over the cracks. We realize that the football really wanting, the quality of football not there, right? Do you think if we continue like this, if Oli will be the manager next season? Let me just say we make top 4.
Yeah, for sure. He will be there. To me, honestly, I'm not seeing a other manager out there right now who could fill our shoes and who could really be successful in that shoes. I'm not seeing that. I think Oli kind of embedded the belief or the legacy of Manchester United. You saw it where he's bringing the youths, some of the youth players. If they're good enough to be a United player in terms of winning titles, we don't know. But at the end of the day, right, that kind of going back to the roots. And I think that management, I think that the board, I think that they like that because at the end of the day, that would be saving them money, right? From having to spend X amount of money on players. And I don't think another manager coming in there would have that amount of faith in the academy and in the youth system, right? So that is one. Because of that, I think Oli really understand Manchester United. To me, I have seen where players or a lot of players' mentality has changed, where players now are given their all, lack of quality or not. I think now you're seeing a different belief in a lot of players that we didn't have before. We scored in spite of not having a system, as you would say, having a pattern of play. We have still scored the most goals in the Premier League, right? And let me say, maybe for better defense, possibly, right? We could have been close to City. So you're still seeing a lot of positives there for Oli not to be fired. I'm not seeing things that just a pattern of play alone would get Oli sacked. And making a top 4 and doing well in cup competitions and maybe reaching far in Europa League. To me, the board at this moment contented with that. As fans, we may not be, but I think the board contented with that. The board contented with the results under Oli and some of the things he is doing. So based on that, definitely he will be going anywhere in this season.
All right. Let me get some comments here. So Joey saying Oli here for the next 20 years. I am saying sometimes I wonder if Oli can take us to another level. If he doesn't win anything this season, he may have to go. And I think this is where I was getting to, because yes, the points that you make, Nico, are valid points. But at the end of the day, we had to understand, or we had to try to figure out where we want to peg our ambition. Is it to just be a top 4 team or to return to the top, right? And asking myself, if Oli get better players, is it for me, is it Oli need better players or is it a system thing? Because some teams, even though they may not have players, and I think I made reference to City, sometimes some of their better players injured, but then they have players who come in and they'll fit the system and it'll be seamless in terms of how the team plays and where they would go on their ambition, right? So I hear what you're saying in terms of some of the improvements we've seen in and around the club, but from a footballing aspect, right? Are we going to settle for good cup runs because he hasn't won anything yet, right? 3 semifinals, third place last season, and that was a stretch. We barely get it on the last day of the season. And now we seeing where the team's struggling to to identify with a style that because you see, you can't just watch a pattern or a style of players just and just as something flippant, because what a style of players do and what a structurers do, it is help you play better to win games, which could make you challenge for titles. So I don't want to just throw off style of players as something fickle. I don't see it like that. But I don't want to throw off none of the points that you made as well. But something Simeon said here that I think is, for me, what is the telling thing. And I think he said here, only fits the board's profile as long as he gets top 4. And because he willing to work with youths, he willing to do this, he willing if
to me that big up it here to them as a fan. To them as a fan, no. But to the board and to the Glazers and them. Manchester United is a highly successful business with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at the top. So are they willing to change that? Or would they be willing to change that for results? They are not going to change Ole because of results. They would change Ole. Let me say if the team gets septic like under Jose Mourinho, where you know for sure something had to give, where you're just dropping players, where you just don't care about anything, right?
But Nico,
then the owners will be forced to make a decision. But under it has nothing like that. So the Glazers, that's one more thing. And as Callum has always said, the Glazers more interested in the Tampa or Buccaneers or whatever team that have in the NFL than Manchester United. Manchester United just cash cow for that team.
But they see, and this is what I'm saying is the problem, because when you look at players like Bruno, you look at how Bruno does be when the team lose. You don't think if we will continue like this under Ole, where you're seeing where things breaking down. Now, and I want to say that very, very carefully, right? Because I'm not saying things breaking down. But when you're seeing results not coming, and you're not seeing where the way how we play benefiting players and the load being carried by 2 or 3 players alone, you don't think even players like Bruno Fernandes, who coming in and have so much influence on the dressing room, could eventually at some point turn on the manager? And that could now cause that kind of problem where the team no longer responding to Ole because of his inability to change the way we play to get the kind of result that we need to be at the top. I don't see understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, but also, right? Also, you have to look at this. For European players, right? European, even South American type players, Manchester United was always a stepping stone. Manchester United was never the be-all and end-all for those type of players.
But they were still winning. We were still winning. We were still winning titles.
So let me say, for an English player, let me say like a Declan Rice or you understand what I say? Their pinnacle would be playing for Manchester United. But a player like Bruno Fernandes, right? You should look at Manchester United as a stepping stone. Put your name up on the flag, play for Manchester United as their talisman, right? And then sooner or later, Real Madrid or Barcelona want you. And to me, that is where they want to be, right? So to me, for Bruno Fernandes, to me, he would be grateful, or he would be delighted, or most excited for what he's doing right now, because he he's putting his map on, or his map on the radar for a Barcelona or a Real Madrid to pay big money for and get a big payday before the end of his career. So I don't think it will affect that type much. It might affect Maguire. Sure.
But the thing about it, right, is, and before I get the comments, because we have some comments coming in here, right? It's just that when you talk about European players using Man United as a stepping stone, the European players who came before, when they played for Man United as a stepping stone, they gave us titles. They brought titles. So they would have left with trophies. You know what I'm saying? And what I mean is, if you look at Bruno and his drive and desire to win things, yes, I understand that maybe he put himself out there for bigger clubs, but at the same time, people look at titles, what you have won, what have you won, and eventually, if we continue to play in mediocrity, you know what I'm saying, then eventually he'll get despondent and he will leave without winning nothing, and it may not be a nice cordial exit. Right, Richard saying, I believe he will. He will. He is the right person for the job, honestly. Simeon saying, anybody see how Bruno start to cuss men out and then they start to play? That
Yeah,
happened today?
I see it show. I see it show.
He was cussing for the bad tackle on James. Okay. All right, we got a comment already. Jody saying, I've said it already. I've said this already. Manchester United board don't want a quick fix anymore. They're looking for the long run. All right. Jesus. Mr. Hackshaw, he's saying, in this vein, we will struggle to stay in top four. It's simple against Man United. Look, let them build up slow. No wing backs pushing forward. Mids can't reach the forwards. Even to get us frustrated, this joined up with our quality will cause us grief. Yeah, and if we were to marry that comment to what we were talking about just now, it will cause Bruno Fernandes grief. Steven saying first half run of play near end. Okay, that's when you're talking about when Bruno was cussing somebody. Nigel saying, as fans we may think so, Iron, but the board have that ambition, bro. And I think this is what the board ambition seems to be making the money off the pitch. That's what Iron's saying. And he's also saying it's best Oli becomes our director of football because he does a lot of infrastructure work. For me, I like Oli as a manager. He has a lot of the qualities that Sir Alex Ferguson possessed. And that made Sir Alex Ferguson who he is. What Sir Alex Ferguson did was he evolved and he changed as the game evolved. And I remember I was reading René Molistine is his name. He have a book. Yeah. And when Alex Ferguson had just come in, he had, I can't remember his name, he had a manager, he had an assistant, because remember Sir Alex Ferguson never used to do the training and the coaching. He would sit down with his team, they will work out tactics, they will do the tactical work with the players, and then he will, based on the reports the coaches bring to him, they will select the team to play the game. So when Sir Alex Ferguson stopped actually coaching, he hired managers, or coaches, who would do that. So they were the tactical geniuses, they were the ones who would come up with the ideas, they would come with the drills to bring out the best in the players. They will also help and have an input in scouting. What Oli needs to do, and I know he probably close with Carrick and Phelan and McKenna and whoever. Oli needs to pick a book from Sir Alex Ferguson's pick a page, from Sir Alex Ferguson's book and look at coaches who are tactically superior in terms of what you want to see in terms of how we play and where the game going. Because I understand you want to play that kind of counter-attacking football, but when the counter-attacking football don't work, what it is we have. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And then when you look at the scouting department, I only now seeing a little 2-3 players, but other than that, all the buys we making are obvious buys. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So if Oli has to be here to see us reach to the top, I'm not saying that we have to sack Oli. I'm just saying if Oli's not the one doing the coaching, he needs to change and shuffle his backroom staff as Sir Alex Ferguson used to do, and that is what made him successful. Yeah. Now, just saying, even if we don't go on to win a major trophy, I'd stick with Oli, provided the boards
support him
in the next transfer window. And I am saying 100% Reem. Oli, yeah. So I don't need Oli to be this big tactician like Klopp or Nagelsmann or Tuchel. Just are the right people that because he says so much times, I'm not coaching. You know? Right. So yeah. So Nico, I think we cover more or less everything today. Yeah. You know, any closing thoughts?
At the end of the day, maybe at the end of the season, we might say good point at Chelsea. Become second, you know. Up next, Crystal Palace away, which is always a difficult game. You always struggling. Without the fans, maybe maybe we might try with our quality. Maybe as you clamoring for, we might see some patterns at play. You might see structure. We might see where we could be breaking down the team, because definitely, as much as no disrespect to Crystal Palace, as much as they would be a bit inferior, and we should see them that way at some point, because we are Manchester United, we should be able to dominate, and we should be able to inflict our brand, our style, however we want to play against them. And to me, that is why I'm looking forward to. Because definitely I can see us dominating possession. So with that, I want to see now that dimension of the game where we're seeing the plan to break down the team. And to me, that is what I'm really hoping for. Yes, you want to win, but you also want to see the plan. You also want to see the tactics we're going to employ to break down Crystal Palace. And maybe with that, we could build some confidence going into the rest of the season, knowing that we have a plan of how to break down teams. Because I think right now, that is where we struggle. I think we really do have a clear plan, how to break down teams and how to attack teams. And that is what I would like to see going forward for the Crystal Palace team.
Yeah. And I mean, I hope it's working in favor. These kind of things don't ever really help. But Crystal Palace hasn't been in good form. I think they lost. They haven't had a win in the last 3 or 4 games. And I think we have a good record at Selhurst Park. So, and I think Cavani should be back for the Crystal Palace game. So there's an added bonus to have somebody in the box who we know the box now, if you understand what I'm saying. And that is all we could hope for to get the win. And I know I say, and probably I still stick by it. We need the 3 points, whether the performance good or bad. But as you were talking just now, Nico, I really want to see when we beating teams that it's not fluke now, that it actually had a plan behind how we beat a team now. I mean, them things are the kind of things that we want to see to be encouraged to know that them fellas actually training and working and stuff, rather than just being pig in the middle, Richard's saying, bringing a director of football who will help the club move forward instead of hovering around a director of football who will make sure we get proper scouts, proper training. Yeah. I think a lot of teams going that way, but from what I understand, Richard, I don't think Oli, also the whole director of football, he enough for that idea, So I don't know. I really don't know.
Gosh, Jody, boy, you gotta rub that in there, boy.
Yeah, I wonder if Jody talking about how much goals we go score this season. 21 goals into it. How much goals? At least come more than 21 goals then?
Nah, it's got plenty goals, man. Top in the league, so
Jody, I love your optimism, but I ain't seen that happen at all. Not without City running away with this thing.
Nah, that's sarcasm. That's sarcasm for sure. I feel that for you. I feel that at some point you're actually 21 and 21, and I feel that for you, Reeves.
Watch me. I wasn't the only one who was gasping when we was on top of the table. So it was me. So anyway, so guys, thanks again for joining. Thanks for the comments as usual. Don't forget to like the video earlier. We appreciate it. Also, as the runner saying there, we also on YouTube. So go across on that side and give us a subscription. We appreciate it. Trying to get the content out there. So see you all on Wednesday. And hopefully, Nico, we could be waxing lyrical about Fred. Hey, let's see Fred. Let's see Fred shot today and what you do? Let's see all reaction to Fred shot.
All you tell him all the time, you cannot shoot, do not shoot your right foot. Say but Fred hadn't bad. I don't say Fred had bad.
But what I'm saying is like everybody knows Fred can't shoot, but like Fred's still taking it. And when Ollie see it, Ollie smile and give him a thumbs up. So I don't know if Ollie know what you doing.
That was a smile? Wait, I was breaking down in tears laughing, boy.
Because when I'm kind of thing, you give him confidence and impetus to go on and waste more,
Yes,
But anyway, I saw the video. you know, and I showed Nico, I still wasn't convinced, you know, I still wasn't convinced. And today he help cause either, you know. So, yeah, what you gonna do? Anyway, but Fred hits a nice rolly. Yeah, he could do. Let him do that now, right? Just go shoot, pass off the ball. You know. Anyway, fellas, have a good night, and we see you on Wednesday.
Good night. Yeah.